Why is it a good time to watch Aussie versus the US dollar? The Australian dollar US dollar has been in a strong upward trend since finding support at the lows of 0.6300. Price has recently reached a resistance of 6650. But could price reverse here, or will we see the trend continue? Let's go take a look. So first of all, I'm on the currency strength meter. We're going to take a look at where the Australian dollar is placed and where the US dollar placed is at this current moment in time. And what we can see here is that the Australian dollar is actually the strongest currency at the moment, and it's this grey line through here. It's sitting at around about +6 at the moment, okay? The US dollar at the moment is the weakest currency at -6. So this tells me one thing, and that is the fact that the Australian dollar versus the US dollar is in an upward trend. Aussie is stronger than the US dollar. So why am I focusing on this currency pair in terms of a potential reversal? Well, it's because when the currency strength meter reaches these extreme levels, we can often see the weakness or strength of a currency reverse, and then those two currencies can converge towards each other, offering us potential opportunities. So for instance, one of the things that we looked at this week was the potential for euro kiwi to move lower, and we looked at that in our live stream, and you can see here euro is pushing to the downside, which is this blue line, and the New Zealand dollar is this yellow one, and they're converging towards each other. If you go and look at a euro kiwi chart now, I'll put one in the video here, you can see that it's moved lower. So I'm looking for the similar thing that's happened to euro kiwi to potentially happen to the Australian dollar versus the US dollar, but there's some technical things we've got to wait for first. Now, one thing that I'd usually wait for is the currency strength meter to change. What I mean by that is I want to see the dollar start pushing to the upside here, and I want to see the Australian dollar pushing lower. So we are a little bit early to this potential move, but we know that that's why we're discussing it in this video. If we go over to VIP trading room, you can see that I'm on the Australian dollar right here. I'm on that weekly chart. If I just maximize the chart here and just zoom in a little bit, you can see that we're actually coming up to a very strong level of resistance where we've had a price form a key low, and it's around about that 0.6650 like I mentioned at the start of the video. And what we're looking at really is the fact that price has rallied higher here, it's then pulled lower, rallied again, retested these highs here, and broken to the downside. So we know that that is a potential double top pattern coming in here, and that happened around about the 0.69 handle. Now usually with a double top pattern, price will break it, retest the neckline, and potentially continue alongside that downward trend. Is that what's going to happen here for the Australian dollar versus the US dollar? We found support down at 0.63, but we've come up into a key area of resistance, which is this double top neckline from a higher time frame perspective. What we need to wait for though is a key change of trend pattern here. Now that may look something like a sort of double top pattern in and around this area. It may look something like a lower time frame change of trend. Now the time frame that I want to be looking at is the 4-hour time frame. So if I just exit out of this weekly chart, I'm going to come into the 4-hour time frame here, and what we can see is we're in an upward trend. That is a fact, okay? Price is making higher highs and higher lows here as expected, okay? The market is in an upward trend, so we should see the market continue to make higher highs and higher lows. But what if that changes, okay? What if that changes? That means I think that there's going to be something that we can look for, especially if those two currencies start to converge towards each other on the currency strength meter. Now, one area I want to look at is the area where selling has taken place most recently, because we know and we can physically see on the chart that sellers have entered the market around this area here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to place a rectangle up at this area there. That is an area where sellers have got involved. So if price comes up to it, okay, and let's say we reject it, could we assume that at this key level of resistance, we know it's a weekly level of resistance as well, that we're getting that potential double top pattern? And if so, would it be a good area for traders that trade the Australian dollar versus the US dollar to no longer think of the Australian dollar as it being in an upward trend, and that it could continue to push lower from this point, maybe targeting these key swing lows that price has rallied from in the past? Alternatively, there are another couple of options we can look for at this key swing high. Now, one might be the head and shoulders pattern, where price will break, it'll make that higher high. We can see we've got the psychological level of 0.6700 above there, pull back down, retest as that right shoulder, and then move to the downside. So you've got the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. Okay, most important thing to note is that this setup is not ready yet. Okay, the market is clearly still in an upward trend. Okay, what I'm just doing is alerting you to the fact that the Australian strength might be coming to a bit of an end, and the US dollar weakness might be coming into a little bit of an end in the next week, maybe even 2 weeks. So we could see price come and retest this area, maybe even consolidate, and then move to the downside. If we breach hold above this high, okay, let's say we are wrong on this occasion and that it isn't ready to continue to push to the downside, and that upward trend is going to continue, well then I'd expect buyers to come in at key lows. Now you can see this 4-hour low in here around about the 0.6600, starting to find support in here at the moment. So we could expect price in the short term to rally back to that level of resistance. If we carry on through it and then we hold at this level, then it could obviously go to the next level of resistance. So we always have to be aware that that could be a situation here as well. So keep an eye on your Australian dollar versus the US dollar. We can see from the currency strength meter, we're coming into some key potential reversal situations. So keep watching that price action. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did and you're new around here, hit that subscribe button for more Forex trading content. I'll see you in the next video.